everyone. Today I am excited to present my full stack web development project called Smart Track, a personal expense tracker that helps users manage their finances more effectively. The main goal of a Smart Track is to provide users with a clean and minimum interface where they can register, login, add daily expenses, and get quick view over the spending habits all in one place. For the project, I used front-end, templating engine, back-end, database authentication. In front-end, HTML, CSS, and Google Fonts for a modern UI. For templating engine, EJS for rendering dynamic HTML content on the server side. For backend, Node.js with Express.js for handling routes and HTTP requests. For database, Firebase, Firestore to securely store user data and expenses. For authentication, Firebase authentication or local strategy used for sign up and login. I kept Let's start with landing page. This is the first screener users see. It introduces the core features and contains quick buttons for login and sign up. The design uses a soft color palette, rounded corners, and subtle shadows to make the interface feel approachable and clean. Moving to the sign up page. Users can enter their name, email, and password. Input validation is handled using required fields at the HTML level. Once submitted, the form sends a post request to the backend, which creates the user in Firebase and redirects them to the dashboard. Next, the login page follows the same visual style. It allows returning users to authenticate and access their data securely. Screen share the dashboard after logging in. Now we are at the heart of the application, the Smart Track dashboard. Here the user is greeted by name. The layout is clean and visually pleasing, using glamorous styling with blurred backgrounds and soft shadows. The selection displays a list of all expenses logged by the user. Each expense is shown in a card layout with the description of the item, the amount spent, the date, formatted nicely using after converting the files from timestamp. If no expenses are logged yet, the app displays a friendly message encouraging the user to start tracking. At the top, we have a button plus add expense. Clicking this lead to a simple from where users can input description, amount, date of the expansion. Upon submission, the expansion is stored in Firestore under the authenticator user collection. Finally, we calculate and display the total spending at the bottom of the dashboard using backend logic. The entry point of the application is app.js. Here I have initialized Express, set up middleware like body browser, defined view engine as EJS and connected to Firebase. You can see clearly defined routes like sign up, login, logout, and dashboard. Next, EJS templates. Inside the views folders, I have used EJS templates to dynamically render content. For example, in dashboard.ejs, we use EJS syntax to loop through user expenses. Conditional logic shows different messages based on whether expenses exist or not. CSS and design. The styles are separated in each page for clarity using Google fonts like pop-in soft colors and a responsive layout. Next, Firebase logic. For storing user data and expenses, I use Firebase file store. In the backend expense data, I stored under each user's unique ID, allowing multi-user functionality. One of the main challenges was integrating Firebase with Express, especially for managing user sessions. I ensured that the routes like the dashboard are protected and only accessible to logged in users. Another learning moment was designing a responsive, clean UI that looks good on both desktop and mobile. I used Flexbox and consistent spacing to solve this. As for improvements, I plan to add category filters and date filters. I also want to integrate charts using chart.js or d3.js to visualize monthly spending. Lastly, I include email verification and forgot password functionality to make it more production ready. So that's my project Smart Track, a clean and functional expensive tracker with full stack and implementation. I really enjoyed working on this and it helped me strengthen both front end and back end skills. And the learning moment was designing a responsive and clear viewing that looks good on both desktop and mobile. I use it flex and consistent spacing to solve this. Thanking you all.